Well, hi everyone. It's Stephanie Ledger here with Michelle Klein on WTF Walk the Floors. So we're so excited to have you back again with us. If you wanting to know a little bit more about our background, feel free to check out our previous episodes, but just quickly wanted to remember that I'm Stephanie Ledger, Chief Excellence Officer of First Rate Hospitality, based here in Miami, Florida, and we work with hotels on training service standards and also to evaluating service standards so you can achieve service excellence. Michelle, you want to do a little intro about yourself?
Sure. Thank you, Stephanie. I'm Michelle Klein. I own and operate Klein Hospitality Consulting. We do training facilitation, we do brand standard audits, and everything in between. And like Stephanie was saying, we're here to share some fun stories of actual situations that have happened to us throughout our audits, throughout our career in this beautiful industry of ours, hospitality. From hotels to restaurants to spas, we have it all.
Yes, yeah. And then today we did a little rhyme for our theme of stairs to chairs.
Ooh, stairs to chairs.
We'll start off with chairs. So obviously these were some steps of failure. The stairs, it tends to be a high walking area for the employees to avoid waiting for the elevator, but then also too, maybe the place does not have a service elevator, or also it's full with other employees that are moving up and down throughout the hotel. But here on these stairwells, as you can see, they have not been maintained properly. And even for a guest, if I was having, friends staying with and they're on a different floor, or business meetings just up and down, it, like to get in that exercise. And then here as the guest is what I was able to find during my journey of walking the stairs.
Very interesting, because it's true. When you are, especially when you're in housekeeping, you use the stairs a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're not using the stairs, listen up, supervisors. If you're not using the stairs, we have a problem because you're taking up the space and the time of those service elevators that are typically super slow.
Yes.
So we don't look at stairs. We don't look and pay attention to our stairs as often as we should.
Yeah.
And this is a great example. How many times do you have team members that, or even guests, that would rather go to the stairs to have a smoke, for example, as opposed to using designated smoking areas, right? And if we're not paying attention, then this is what we find. Another one that is interesting is how many times, Stephanie, have you had teams where those in charge of maintaining the public areas and those in charge of housekeeping are going to be fighting over who's responsible for cleaning those stairs?
Oh, yes. Oh,
is it
yes.
public areas? Is it EBS? Is it housekeeping? Who is it, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Then the stairs end up being no man's land.
Absolutely.
And if we don't pay attention when we walk the stairs, then this is what ends up happening.
Yeah, and we're, the saying that says everyone is a housekeeper, no matter what your position is. If you see it, you pick it up, or you making sure that you get the proper tools to having it get cleaned properly. It's not just waiting, oh, housekeeping's going to clean that, or EVS is going to clean that. But even if you're front desk and you're walking your checkouts, and you're noticing this, then it's all about communication or picking it up yourself, because you never know who could be the next person walking behind you as a guest that could be seeing the same debris as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So a very quick story that I want to share came to mind as we were discussing this is, Stephanie and I have a commitment to making sure that no team member names are mentioned, no brands are mentioned.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be very careful as to the specifics on this story. And all I can say is that at a very well-known property in a very, very beautiful place on the West Coast that has a beautiful lake, there was a man living underneath the fire's exit, the stairs. And this was a set of stairs that were kind of tucked away and no one really used, and most definitely no one went below a specific level. So it's an area where perhaps housekeeping may have never seen. And I guess the stairs, I know the stairs were not on a maintenance rotation basis. They were after this discovery. But there was a person living literally under the stairs in one of the stairs landings. And I am not kidding. There was like this whole setup. There was a TV. The TV was hooked to cable from the hotel. I remember seeing, that there was a mattress and it wasn't a hotel mattress. So somehow this person started bringing all these items in. It was not an employee either that was living there. And we couldn't quite point out how long this person had been living there, but it was at least a few weeks before this was discovered. Yes.
Yeah.
It was quite interesting. So that's another good one as to why we need to walk our floors. Because then when you see a situation like this, that's when you think, WTF.
Yeah.
I can't believe there's a person living in my hotel stairs.
And not paying rent.
And using my cable and power, obviously.
Yeah.
And that person was probably, showering in the sink in the closest guest public space restroom. And why not?
Yes.
Yes. Lovely, lovely, lovely stories.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And it's a lot of people just assume, oh, it's just the stairwells that are leading up to the guest rooms. But there's, multiple stairwells depending the layout of the hotel. So, I've definitely walked stairwells too that it's the kitchen culinary is going up and down. And then, you're preventing also from slips and falls from happening. And now workers' comp and everything else that comes from that, just on slipping on, cigarette butts. As simple as that, and how much that can also too even cause harm or injury to a guest and to an employee.
Yes, for sure.
All right, so what do you have, Michelle?
Let's go from stairs to chairs. So this one I am calling from tacky to safety, because I could really not figure out what is worse here. And obviously safety comes first, right? So safety is always going to be top of mind and most important to us. But how tacky is this? And I'm going to give you a little bit of background on this one. This is a resort pool who was actually closed during most of 2020 because of COVID restrictions. This is a resort where guests pay a pretty penny to stay there. And I am thinking, why is it that, number one, you're removing, because on the West Coast, we had very tight protocols we had to follow as we were bringing our properties back from the shutdown. And part of that had to do with reducing the amount of seating space or tables or any kind of furniture where people could be congregated in from the decks.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're not only removing the amount of furniture we have available, but the brilliant person that worked on pinpointing which ones had to be removed decides to not properly inspect the equipment or the furniture that was left behind. And this is what we see.
Wow.
So not only you have limited seating, but the seating is a safety hazard.
Yes.
Not even to mention that it looks terrible, right? So super tacky in my opinion.
Yes.
But anyone can fall from this.
Oh yeah.
Why, if you're going to leave 7 chairs out, why in the world would you not pick your most beautiful 7 chairs?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't get it.
Yes. And this is also too, I think a lot of hotel leaders think, oh, you know what, now this is going to cost a lot of money to change out the chairs, but utilizing your resources, like here to the left, it's just a small tear, using your seamstress, your laundry department to being able to use a thicker string to be able to sew that back together is a way as well. Here in the middle, this one's a big tear where, you know, not that's going to be a simple fix. But if you're starting to see and it starts, then fixing it before it gets into a bigger mess, basically.
Absolutely. And I can tell you from experience, I was GM of a few properties, and in one of the properties, we had this situation and we didn't quite have the budget at that point
Mm-hmm.
to be able to replace the furniture. And the furniture was in great shape. It
Mm-hmm.
was simply the actual material that needed to be replaced. And I had a very creative and brilliant person working in the upholstery room. And I met with a vendor and they brought me all sorts of different materials I could choose from. We took that opportunity to bring some color into the pool deck at that point and replaced the material.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have to get rid of the chairs, the lounge chairs completely. We just changed the material through our upholstery shop. And that's, you know, that's a quick, easy fix where it's still in line with the whatever budget you have, but it's most definitely going to cost you less than someone breaking their hip.
Yes.
or someone getting very upset as they're drinking their beautiful cocktail and they fall on the floor. So we don't want to see any of that happening.
Absolutely.
So here's another example as to how, you know, walking the floor, inspecting what we are expecting makes more sense than not.
Absolutely. And a lot of times too is the timing that you're doing the walking. So just because you're walking around when the pool area or the beach area is packed, you're not being able to inspect the actual product because that's, you know, in the middle of the day, that's when the guests have their towels over it. So you're not really able to get in there and making sure that what the fabric looks like. And also too, even in between the cracks. I mean, how many times do I find, you know, like paper straws or napkins in between the chairs as well, which is not very sanitary either.
Yes, that's a great point. Great point, Stephanie. This is great. So, Stephanie, what let's close this out so we allow everyone to go back to whatever they're doing. Come join us, share your stories. We know you have them.
Yes.
This is a safe environment. And what can people do if they wanted to reach out to us, Stephanie?
Yeah, absolutely. So our email information is here. So if you have a great story that you want to be featured here on our show, we are open to having more of our hospitality community on here. And then also too on LinkedIn or however you're watching this program right now, put a message in the comments or reach it out to us directly, and then we could be able to schedule a time and get your story out there.
Wonderful. And if you need quality evaluators or if you need process improvement, these are your gals.
Mhm.
We're here for you. That's our information. Reach out. We'll be happy to connect with you.
Absolutely. And we're ladies, not gals, because gals is improper verbiage.
We are ladies. We are ladies.
Yes. Well, wonderful. Well, thank you again, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.